think it's working. I think it's working. I think it's working. Hopefully it's working. Hey! What's up, everybody? You have to bear with me today. Just launching the new OBS studio, so I had to kind of reset up everything, and it looks like we're also broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook. It's working. The sound is okay for you guys. No dual band sound, no echoing of any kind. You guys are good. Hopefully there's no echo. That's what I'm really hoping for. Sounds okay? Volume levels okay for you guys? Just gonna make sure that all this stuff looks okay first. That's okay. Scale. Let's scale that down a little bit. One sec, guys, while I finish getting this stuff up and running. Okay. Cool. Think we're good. Georgia. Rome. India. Huh. I'm global, baby. We're global. How you guys doing this morning? Is that the country Georgia or the United States state Georgia? Okay. It is working. What's up, Grabber? How's everybody doing? So, you guys will have to kind of bear with me. There's 3 times the amount of chat this time. Germany. So, if you guys have a question, and you throw it into chat, and by chance I don't get to it, feel free to just throw it in again, because I may not see it. Because there's a lot of chat. Alright, that being said, let's get to work, man. So, this is what we started last round. This is some God of War troll fan art from the Netherlands. What's up, man? Holy Netherlands. Alright, so yeah, last time in Brazil, Luis, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Thank you very much. I do have to say that this, by far, is one of my favorite hats, like, across the board. So if you get a chance, and you go to a ZBrush event and you see one of these hats, pick them up. Pick them up. First time here, man. Alright, awesome. Well, welcome. Kyle, thank you very much, sir, for chaperoning. Everything looks good on all 3 platforms. Dope. Don't you love when, like, you set something up for the first time and then, like, you're like, press go, and you're like, gah, go, and you're like, yeah. Oh, it's working. Everything's working. All right, let's get to work. So yeah, God of War, an amazing game, absolutely amazing art, amazing artists, across the board over there. I had blown away by that game. Just finished it last night. Absolutely blown away. Amazing. So I wanted to do some fan art. Obviously, the trolls were fantastical. So that's what we're starting with. Last week we thanks, Game Boy. Appreciate it, man. And welcome to all the other first timers. I think we'll probably have a couple. Welcome. So yeah, we're going to we started this block out last round, so we're about 2 hours in. my goal is to do more of a statue, something not a pose, ready for rigging and retopoing. I really want to get something in that is more for statue um, line of work, I guess you could say. So I'm going to pose them up, and we're going to sculpt them in pose. And then maybe if that goes fast enough, and we're not completely bored with it, I may throw in, do a Kratos or a Atreus, and we'll do a whole little diorama scene. So, yeah, that's the plan. So this guy just basically did the block in for the head. Obviously, the body's not there. The body's awesome. He actually kind of cracks me up. He's like, I'm a big badass, blah blah blah, Kratos, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, Alright, so we're gonna work on blocking out his body today. Um, that's that's the plan. Oh yeah, that's the I used to work for a medical treatment planning software company, and that was one of the specialized anatomy things that I've done. Not to create the poster, but it was, yeah, it's a long story, but I did a lot of studying of the human skull. Let's put it that way. It was fun. All right. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is just, I think I'm just gonna get rid of this body because it's pretty atrocious. So let's do that first, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's just do. That's fine. Let's just grab maybe this. Let's get rid of all that. Thanks. The skull's. I like my skull. It's pretty good. Oh, the skull in the background. Let's see what you did there. Alright, so let's just, actually, you know what, before we do that, let's duplicate him. And then let's delete hidden, let's mirror and weld. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so usually what I do is, I have some monster brushes from Bad King. Bad King's actually a fairly old site, and I'll give you the website real quick. It's badking.com.au if you guys want to crap. For those of you on Twitch, I'm putting in the link right now. Oh, there it is. Yeah. But if everybody that's on Facebook or YouTube, it's Badking, BADKING.au. Or .com.au. Anyways, this is an awesome website. Lots of free, awesome, amazing stuff. How many more times can I say awesome? Basically, they have these, which are the monster parts. So basically, what I do is I'll just grab their body, and like I'll just grab one of their bodies, maybe this one. And let's just throw that in. And then we'll do split unmasked points. Grab this dude. Okay, and then let's roll. So basically what I do is I just take one of these dudes, and I want to get him in just so I can get some very, very basic proportions down. And then I'll just completely decimate and resculpt from there. Basically, this just gives me a really, really quick proportions, which is what I'm going for. Right? Super quick. Super quick. That actually looks pretty good. His body be a lot wider actually. So let's just go from there. Cool. And then maybe I'll actually go back and grab some legs. Legs. And let's see. Let's hit N. Nope. M. Let's see if we just got some. I don't know if there's human legs in here. Maybe this one? Use feet. Weird creature. Let's just go with this guy for now. Actually, before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dynamesh this dude. Dynamesh. Cool. So that closes the holes. Whew. That is large. There we go. I'm just going to re-decimate all of this stuff. Resculpt it all anyways, so I don't really care too much about it because I'm just going to use the Sculptris Pro to kind of go over everything. But I just wanted to get that rolling. And actually, you know what, let's give him a butt first. So let's go. We've got alright, we got some Sculptris Pro going on. We've got some symmetry going on, and we're just going to go to town here. Also, the other thing that I like to do first and foremost is just get rid of all the details. I don't need all of that. I really don't want to be stuck with it. And I don't want to be influenced by it. So anytime that I use something else to get me started on something, I always try to get rid of the details first, so I'm not influenced by it, you know what I mean? Keyshot should be able to work fine on that. It's really dependent on your RAM and your CPU, so and what you're trying to render. Alright, so let's actually we're gonna go to preferences. So anytime you get this, say like you're gonna take your draw size all the way up, and obviously this isn't very large, so your scene's doing some weird things. Let's do close holes real quick. There we go. What you can do is you go to preferences, draw, and then take your max brush size up. Maybe we'll do 2000. Now I can go all the way up there. Ooh. Alright, I'm going to widen that body out quite a bit. Alright, we're just going to get rid of most of that. All those little details I want to get rid of. I don't want to be influenced by them. So again, really the only time I use something like that is to just get super basic proportions. So thank you, Bad King, for putting in the work. You're amazing. Okay. All right, now let's get some hips going out here. And this is actually going to be a lot wider this way. Maybe we'll grab this. We'll get him wider. He's not a skinny troll. Okay. Give him some pretty large ribs. Say, like, yay. And flush out the rest of this ab section real quick. It's always really tough to get a lot of these basic proportions without the rest of him. So usually I try to just get things in the general vicinity of where I want them, and before I start adding stuff. Alright, so let's grab the legs brush again. You're gonna get hit M. Do I always work with Dynamesh? Not always. Lately I've been doing a lot more just throwing stuff in and using Sculptress. But mostly if I'm blocking out organic stuff, definitely Dynamesh. Definitely Dynamesh. Meh. What do you think? Ship it? Ship it. Tell me about the Horizon Zero Dawn character. Have you finished it? You said that you're gonna do retopology and texturing on your channel. Answer me, please. For God's sakes, I need to know. Ah. The answer is I have not finished him. I haven't had a whole lot of time to do any work on my own channel. So the ZBrush is pretty much done for him. And most of the time that I've had lately is just doing ZBrush stuff for the Pixelogic channel. So instead of continuing with him, because there's really not much left to do for ZBrush, we're moving on to a different ZBrush project. But I still plan on finishing him at some point. So I haven't done pretty much anything on him other than what I've done on the Pixelogic channel here. So don't worry. That's the good news and bad news, Valen. The good news is you haven't missed anything. The bad news is there's been nothing to miss. Let's just get rid of those funky feet. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to work on some super basic proportions. Just going to widen those legs out. Widen those legs out. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is just I'm going to push in the inner thighs here just to give me a little bit more room. And then I'm going to widen these ankles real quick like. And again, usually when you're starting to block this stuff out, you'll be in the valley of suck for quite a while. So don't worry. Yo, what's up, Hannibal? How you doing, man? Bacon. What's up, buddy? Yeah, dude. Thanks, mate. Yeah, man. It's good to have you, bruh. Those body parts are from Bad King Dynamesh. They're not Dynamesh yet, but yes, they are. These are from Bad King. They are the monster parts, and then just totally hacked up, basically. So just want to get some basic proportions. What's up, Fried Canvas Studio? How you doing, man? So just get some basic stuff out here. Let's get him to have way thicker feet. This guy's got a lot of weight. A lot of weight. Make sure that he's got pieces that are large enough to hold that. Oof. Asgard, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Got all the peoples today. Alright, let's see if we can get some hips. Let's get these in place. Alright, let's go back to this dude. Oh, we got to, let's split. There we go. Now we'll grab these dudes. Now we just play the connection game. Working on personal stuff finally. Nice. Oh yeah, I met Arno at the ZBrush Summit. Those are really cool guys. They did a lot of work on that game. A lot of work. Alright. This is going to look like doo-doo for a little bit, so bear with. Okay, good. Yeah, it's getting there. Hey, I'm working on personal stuff too. That's actually some of the big reasons why I keep doing streaming for Pixo is that A, I love those guys and gals. Great crew. B, it actually it keeps me working. It forces me to work on personal stuff, which is super important. Graduating next week? Dude, congrats, man. That's freaking awesome. That's awesome. Then you're gonna be a big boy. You're gonna be all adulty and responsible. You ready for that? I don't think I'm not even ready for that, and I've been doing it for a while. Dark, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? All right, I say let's put this together. What do you think? Let's put this together. Okay, so then from here, I'm just going to do a quick Dynamesh. See if 128 is fine. Yeah, I think 128 is just fine. And then let's just clean this up just a bit. Oh my gosh. Sculptris Pro is amazing. Emma, what's up? Hey, how are you? Hailing from the motherland. How are you? Let's merge these down. Merge down. Yes, that's fine. Okay, and then let me say 256, and let's redynamesh this. Crunch, 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 crunch. There we go. Now, too many polys. Oh, that's dumb. Okay, we'll work without it for now. Fine. Work and lurk. Yeah. Well, thanks for saying hi. Thanks for hanging out. It's good to see you. Hope everything is good. Let's go 128. Okay, we've got a body. Look at that. We've got some basic proportions. Awesome. Bad King is awesome, right? Dude, I'm telling you. You know, even if you do your own version of that, make some legs, make a bunch of different types of your own legs. You know, if you're gonna end up doing anatomy practice anyways, make your own monster brush, right? And then you source your own material, right? So if you're gonna do if you're gonna try to do some anatomy practice or something, put those to use, right? Make some arms, make some different types of arms, make skinny arms, make big guy arms, make fat arms, make, all kinds of crazy arms, and then use that for your own library material. It's awesome. Let's actually turn this to 28. UI question. When I try to make some UI changes like yours, my buttons get missing most of the time. Happens to anyone? By the way, nice call, Matt. Thanks, Fred. It depends. Sometimes a lot of my buttons will be missing as well, but that tends to be like if I'm on a primitive that's not a polymesh. So you'll see like this is not a polymesh 3D. Where is he? There he is. Alright, so this is not a polymesh. The way you can tell is if you go to initialize and you have something like this, and you can change all this stuff. As soon as you make this a polymesh 3D, all of those come back and your initialize changes. So that's one way you can check, is just to make sure that it's polymesh 3D. Okay. So what I'm going to do to reduce some of this is I'm going to I'm just going to take my smooth brush and let it decimate some of this. I've actually never done it this way before. But I haven't unified my scene, so my Dynamesh, even though it's really low resolution, is giving me super high resolution. I'm not ready to wrap my brain around trying to unify stuff yet. So I'm just going to use the smooth brush with Sculptress Pro on, and then I'm just going to go and reduce some of these poly areas. I know your collection can get crazy and out of hand very quickly. But that's a good thing, right? It's a freaking awesome thing. Oh yeah, that may be it, Fried. You may want to reach out to Pixelogic support. If it keeps happening and you can't figure it out, just reach out to Pixelogic. I'm not using 4K, so I can't personally give any advice or watch out fors. All right, that's still okay. I got basic proportions. This is fine. All right, now let's save. Let's save this guy. Got a new beard. Still there, right? What's up, bro? How you doing, man? All right, so let's go back to our monster brush, and it's gonna grab some arms this time. All right. I like this version, but I'm old school. I kind of like this window. So if you hit M, as in Mary, on your keyboard, you can get this view. What's up, Jose? Right now, I'm actually working at Crystal Dynamics on the Avengers project, the super secret Avengers project. Roar, roar. Oh, excuse me. Other games that I've worked on. I did some work on MLB 2018. I did a little bit of work on Last of Us 2. I did some work on Sucker Punch's Ghost of something or other. I forget what the name of it is, but their E3 trailer last year. I did a little bit of work on that. I also did some work on. I actually did a troll for. God, there's a Steam game. It was called Citadel Forged in Fire, I think is what it was called. That was a Steam game that came out not too long ago by Blue Isle Studios, Canada. Did some work on them. Yeah, making my way around. Yep, absolutely. I also did a bunch of work for the now scrapped Visceral Star Wars game that was in progress. Was in progress, but is no longer. Yep, it's making my way around. Anyways, so yeah, these arms I think will work perfectly. At least will get me in the right direction, right? So another thing to stop and kind of note at this point is it's important. It's super important to know anatomy and practice anatomy. You know, some people may say, well, you know, like you're using other people's stuff, and you're like, what do you get out of that? At this point, I feel comfortable using stuff like this for blockout because I've already done this type of anatomy work many times, right? So like, if you've done it a lot of times, it's good to have your own material, but in case you don't, it's okay to start with a base mesh. Um, so I feel like it's totally fine to start with a base mesh as long as you're not like ripping directly from it. It's like photo bashing, right, or kit bashing. You take smaller parts to make some larger piece, right? Actually, kit bashing probably is not a good example there, but like photo bashing, I guess you could say. You're taking a little piece of something and you're using it in a way that it helps you get to an end goal of your own making faster, right? So, like if I'm in studio, I'm not going to sit and create a human body every single time I do a character, right? There's a base mesh, that's what you do, that's what you use. So this is very similar. Have clay sculpt seen in a ZBrush. No one seems to have an easy tool or method for me to measure his proportions. He's in pose. Usually, what I do for proportions, I just take the head, pull it over here, and duplicate it. However many times he's supposed to be, and then that's usually my measuring. I can't really say what the Avengers project's going to be like other than what you saw in the teaser trailer. Can't really say. It's Crystal Dynamics is making the Avengers project, who is owned by Square Enix. Just got in. It's like marvelous. You don't want to use it into a comfortable sculpting cloth myself. Otherwise, I'll never learn. That's true, Babu. True, true, true. Close holes, maybe? No, let's do this. Let's split unmasked so we have the arms on the new one. Yeah. Usually, you'll have base meshes already made. Are there good muscular sets out there? Yeah, you can go to like 3D Scan Store. It's a really good place. You can also just go onto like ZBrush, and there's a lot of male and female bases already made by people that you can just pick up and support. Yeah, what's up, Indy? How you doing, man? When you're able to make base meshes, then start using them. Yes, if you're able to make base mesh, and know the anatomy and stuff, then use them. Absolutely. 100%. Alright, let's see what this is doing. Let's dynamesh this bad boy. Maybe we can just do 56. So here's another good little trick is that if you dynamesh something and then you change the resolution and try to dynamesh again, you realize that it won't go down. Let's say I'm taking it down in resolution. I cannot tell you which guys I worked on at Avengers, unfortunately. All I can say is I worked on characters that are Avengers. Do they supply brace meshes and have the proper geo? Or are they later retopoed? No, usually in studio there'll be base meshes that already like game res, and have the UVs and everything already set up that you can just build on top of, right? Because there's no reason to keep doing that. So the question: try to redynamesh at a lower resolution and won't work. If you just change a smooth something or change change something on the mesh and then redynamesh, that'll work. Can you break ZTL and base mesh into IMM parts? Technically, yeah, you can. Reason in my mind, I have a stigma against using base meshes. I don't know why. If there's something in our work past. Yeah, you may have to get over that stigma. Not really dark. It's really based on resolution. I think what you can do is, does that work? No. I was hoping that you could. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, get it done, dude. Get it done. No, those are tusks. Actually, you know what? Let's get you some reference real quick in case you guys haven't seen my handy dandy Quadro. Oh, hey, Quadro's ready. Oh, thanks. Let's grab. Come on. Yes, I got it. Yeah, thank you. Let's grab Quadro. Let's open recent. Of course, I don't have it. All right. Add local image. Let me grab my reference real quick and I'll show you guys what the reference is. God of War. Where are you? Thank you. Yeah, of course. Let me find it real quick. Hold on one sec, guys. Troll? No, that's not it. James, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Welcome. Welcome to. Actually, this is the dude. This is actually the other troll that I made for Citadel. Citadel Forged in Fire. It's a Steam game, but yeah, he's actually really old. Like I'm not put him in my portfolio. I can do way better work now. Let's grab this again. Local image. Let's grab this guy again. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to find my reference for this guy so I can show you. Where the hell did I put him? Where did I put you? Nope, that's not it. Actually, you know what? I'll just troll, God of War, troll. Let's just do this. I'll just show you here instead of looking for him. But this is the dude. The dude. This is the dude. I'm the dude. It's a good question, you know. Especially if you don't have a lot of experience in game studios and you're kind of looking, you know, time is very valuable. So yeah, so this is the dude. So just setting expectations and, you know, figuring out what to work on and where to spend your time, you know. And a lot of places are different, so yes, I just finished God of War last night, actually. Alright, now let's start getting some of this stuff connected together and actually pulling the pieces together. From Peru, what's up, man? He's the dude! So if the studio usually gives you a base mesh to work on, does that mean sculpting in a specific specialization within the studio? What do you mean, pro? Like, you have somebody that just works on outfits, or do you have somebody that just works on heads, or somebody who just works on particular things? Is that what you're asking? All right, let's get this. I'd say let's get this all together now. I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab this. I think we're gonna try to rotate this down a little bit. So this one snaps to the center of unmasked, and that one snaps to. So we're just gonna rotate this guy down a little bit. You just need 4 legs, yeah. Does someone else do the base mesh and then hands it to a sculptor to finish? Usually what happens from what I've seen is that early on in the project, you know, depending on the youth of the studio or age of the studio, a lot of times like a lead or somebody will create, you know, during R&D time, a lead will create the base meshes, or somebody within the team will create the base meshes, and then now you have a uniform base that everybody works from. So like animation, rigging, all will be able to have a standard base mesh that they can do most of their work from, and then from there everybody kind of sprouts. So it's good to have everybody kind of on the same channel to start from. This guy, there we go. That's better. All right, let's let's save it real quick, and then we're going to Dynamesh all this together, and then we're going to start getting this guy into a better spot. So let's save real quick. Concept artists. Yeah, so usually the character artist will create the base meshes, kind of in the beginning of a project. Once those base meshes are done, then you start doing outfits and stuff from that base mesh. Does that make sense? So yeah, concept artists will usually, well, usually you don't have to have a concept for like a standard male base mesh or standard female base mesh. The character artist can already start doing that before concept artists can get you a specific concept, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did not work on Horizon Dawn. I wish I did. The game is awesome. That would have been a really, really fun project to work on. Alas, I did not. Oh yeah, all this is gonna have to come down. Okay, all right. So let's do this. Yep, it all depends on the project and where and when you are and what project you're working on too. You know, and that I think that goes for realistic or stylized, right? Stylized, you're gonna have a base mesh to work from, and then from there you would modify it. If it's gonna be something that doesn't have a lot of stuff on top of it. Usually for more realistic stuff, you don't typically touch the base mesh very much unless it's unless you have a base mesh that's some scrawny dude and you need to have super muscular guy. You know what I mean? Alright, so let's grab this. Let's merge down. Let's duplicate him off. Throw him down here. This guy, we're going to throw him down there. So usually what I do is I'll duplicate stuff off and then I just throw the old ones down to the bottom and turn them off so that I can. So let's try 56 and Dynamesh. There we go. Alright, and fill in some of these holes. Honestly, I'll tell you the truth. I really didn't like bow and arrow games for ever. I really didn't like bow and arrow games. So when I started Horizon Zero Dawn, I was like, really, honestly, the only reason why I played the game, I actually picked it up and started playing it, was because it was such a groundbreaking game, and the art was absolutely amazing. So I kind of forced myself to play in a style that I wasn't really comfortable with playing, and I loved it. It was amazing. All right, so let's try to rework a little bit of this anatomy, just so things aren't so crazy weird. So cleanup is a good step. Whew. Yeah, no, this is gonna go all the way down. Let's see. So a lot of times, sometimes even what I'll do is I'll come in when in this stage, because things are so weird and all over the place. I'll just come in and do um, anatomy landmarking, right? So, okay, we got that. One of the concept arts from Horizon Zero Dawn on Twitch too. Yeah, they're all over the place. All right, deltoids come in here. Deltoids come in here. All right, it's going to come in like this. We've got the brachialis that comes in here. We've got forearm that comes in here. Whew. And those triceps need some work. So triceps are here. Okay. So this is where your anatomy knowledge comes in very handy, right? Knowing how to get everything back into proportion is super, super important. What's up, Heroku? How you doing, man? Uncharted? Yes, absolutely. Played Uncharted. Absolutely. Okay, so that goes there. So we've got brachialis that comes through here. We've got deltoids that come here. Got bicep that comes out. Right, so now we're starting to kind of get back into that area of, okay, things are a little bit not so crazy. Okay, we've got pectoralis that comes through here. Right, we've got, let's hide this guy real quick. So one of the weird things about this monster body is the neck. I'm just gonna just kill all this real quick. So the neck is kind of like facing forward. Any tips on leg proportions? I think the first thing I would say is what kind of legs are you doing? What kind of character are you doing? It really depends. You know, are you doing super? Is it humanoid? Is it creature? Is it you know, are the proportions like this guy where it's kind of like, you know, squashed, or is it tall and lanky? I would say figure out your proportions first and like what kind of. Let's move this dude up here like this. There we go. That's a little better. Just regular human heroic character. Yeah, what I would do is I would set up your full body, and the size of your head first. I know it sounds weird, but the size of your head will determine the size of your legs, I feel. So what I would do is I would just block out the full, like the full torso, because then you can get the proportions better, right? So like because it's all interconnected, right? This is all based on really the size of your head. I would just do a quick block out, take your head, duplicate it a bunch of times, make sure you get, you know, the same amount of heads, right? 5, 4 for the yeah, something like that. So I get your proportions there from the head, and then I would probably start with tubes, and then place the muscles in. Just knowing where those muscles go, right? So you've got rectus femoris that comes in like this. You've got your vastus lateralis that comes down here, right? You got your vastus medius that comes down here. You've got your adductors that come in here. You got your sartorius muscle that comes down here like this, right? And then really pay attention to the forms, right? Your silhouette forms, right? So you've got this curve coming in here, and then you've got kind of this bisected curve coming here, right? The inside will come lower, right? And then just look where the most outer points are for each side, right? So on the inside, the gastrocnemius in the back, right, will come down lower, but on the outside, the soleus out here will be at a higher point right here, right? So you start getting those proportions and those silhouettes knocked out, right? So you do it from the front and then do it from the side, right? So like gluteus comes in here. You've got your hamstrings, your semitendinous, and your biceps femoris come in here. You got your back of the knee where all the tendons come in. You got your gastrocnemius that comes like this, and then block out your foot. Right, where does the knee land? This guy's knee is way too low, but he's kind of squat. So that's what I would do. Is I would start with tubes, bust in your anatomy, and then pay attention to the silhouettes. That's kind of how it would go. And make sure you have good reference, like Jane said. Yeah, that's always a kind of a tricky thing where the limbs connect is always a little bit weird. Just do your best to have really good uh, reference and really pay attention to um, the silhouettes. It's really gonna push. So what I do is when I'm here, like I'm not really looking at this. I'm looking at this, right? Oof, that's ugh, ugh. Right, I'm looking at these shapes, and as I turn, I'm looking at these shapes. I'm looking at these shapes. So as you turn all the way around, the silhouette is almost always what I'm looking at, right? Silhouette, silhouette. This needs to come down more. This needs to come in more here. Legs. For male, the other thing too is male and female proportions are a lot different as well. So you have to decide early what the sex is. All right. So most, for female, the most outer part is here, right? Because what happens is the hips kick out, the iliac crest and the whole hip like kicks out, which means that your femur pushes out, and your greater trochanter, which is the outside of your femur, pushes out more, right? So that's why on females you see the widest point is here, right? So now it looks more feminine, right? Whereas on male, the legs, the hips are kicked in more, so your greater trochanter is basically down here, right? I missed a lot. Sorry, guys. Messed up the pelvis. You block out primitives like Shane, or just use Dynamesh and add clay buildup. Jose, usually for my block out, I'll do something like this. I do a lot more realistic stuff, so I usually don't do a simple block out. I'll usually just do something like this where I grab some proportions, some already existing stuff, and then just throw it together, and then based on my anatomy knowledge, I'll kind of flush out the different areas. Okay, lats come up here. What's crazy is the Latissimus Dorsi, this large one, actually comes up and connects on the inside of your arm. Like it wraps all the way around from your back and connects up into here. Crazy. So you have this plane change here, right? So you've got the rib cage and you've got the serratus muscles in here coming down this way, right? And you've got this really awesome plane break right there as the Latissimus dorsi wrap around, right? So the majority of it starts right here. You've got other stuff, but it's more kind of like the flat tendinous muscle. Yeah. So that comes up there, right? We've got your trapezius muscles that come down here like this, kind of go out, connect up here, and then they come this way, right? There's your traps. You've got your scapula that usually rides right here. So usually like having a little bit of a protuberance. Big words, bro. Sure you know what you're talking about? Yeah, I do. I've done it a couple of times. Sorry, I'm gonna catch up a little bit on chat here. Sorry, but if I missed any questions, let me know. Body landmark surgery roadmap, yes, absolutely. A lot of Pipe tutorials where they say 8 heads too. Yeah, it depends on, a standard male body at, 5'10", 5'11" is usually 7 to 7.5 heads. Where you get into 8 heads is more heroic proportions. So that's why you hear that a lot. Is usually we're sculpting more heroic, like big badasses, you know what I mean? So typically 8 heads is more of the heroic, but 7 to 7.5 is usually human average. Here's how I learned natty. 1 head, 2 nipple, 3. Yeah. So here. Let me show you. So usually what I do is this guy has different proportions, but I'll show you what I do typically. Right. So I'll grab the head. Let's duplicate this dude off. Did I duplicate? I duplicated the wrong one. Let's delete that guy. That's fine. It's this one. Let's duplicate that guy. So usually what I do is I'll take the head. And this guy is going to be different proportions because he's kind of a giant squat dude. What's up, Monstro Dominerd? How you doing, man? Mustard Nerd. That's awesome. So we'll take 1 head and let's get rid of everything else on him real quick. Alright, let's delete hidden. So usually what I'll do is I'll just grab the head and then he is that. Okay, let's auto group. There we go. So 2 heads, usually right around to the nipples, right? Somebody else was saying this. I didn't catch who it was. Sorry. 3rd head down is usually the navel, right here. 4th is usually bottom of the crotch for a male. Next one down is just above the knee. Next one down is right around the mid shin, and then one final one for bottom of the foot. That's usually what I do. So I'll establish a head size first, and I'll base my body size from the head. So it looks proportional. And then from there, you can say, well, do you want this to be more of a kid? Or do you want it to be more of like, small head dude? So then you would, change his head proportion from there to his body. The other thing you could do is usually the head is the shoulders are 3 heads size, right? So like you have 1 head and then you put the next head here and the next head here. That's usually where the shoulders end on a basic body. Again, this one's going to be a little bit different. So that's usually what I'll do for sizing. It looks like we're almost pretty much right on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so his head's small. That's why his head looks small. Or I mean, that's why his body looks small. That's what I should say. His body looks. If this is going to be a normal proportion dude, he would be longer, right? But because this guy's got those kind of weird proportions, his head's going to look kind of big in misproportion. So, yeah, slightly shorter legs, shorter and stumpier. Yeah, a lot of that stuff came from Roman and Greek. Yep, true story. Alright, let's get back to this dude. Some of the other things that I'm seeing kind of right away as we kind of get this guy in proportions. This is width. This got to come way down. Way down. down. It could be. Sometimes it's easier to use transpose. It's up to you. It's your whatever suits your fancy, you know. You could. You could. For this character, because I'm streaming this dude, I like kind of showing this process. So I could start from my own base meshes really, but I like showing this process for you've got a lot of people that are it's a wide range from beginners to professionals. So I like trying to get as much of the early stuff in as possible. This all needs to come out way more. This guy needs big lats. The lats. Huge lats. All the lats. There we go. It's a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, what I would say, usually what I'd say on like working on proportions is get your basic, super basic proportions down, understand them, and then start playing with them. You know what I mean? Alright, we're gonna start getting a little bit more shape to this dude. Alright, so he's probably gonna have a lot of weight, right? So a lot of things are pushing down. Okay, I'm just gonna try to get some of these into better spots. All right, so we've got the top of the iliac crest here. This will usually come in through here. All right, this has all got to come in more. All right, so we've got glutes that come this way. Got the gluteus medius that comes in through here. We got hamstrings, which are the semitendinosus and the biceps femoris. Come in like this. Gastrocnemius. Got the Achilles tendon that comes in here. Yeah, my dogs are chilling in here. I'm in their room. They're like, dude, Dad. Hell, man, it's like early, bro. Come on. I'm trying to get some sleep. Depends. I mean, if you look at this guy, he's definitely not 12 heads high. He's got a big head. Like really, really big head. So, I mean, you can play with the proportions. You know, as soon as you get the body down to the type that you want, then you can start playing with different proportions, right? So like you can grab this dude, let's duplicate this guy off. Right? So if you want to make him look super, super huge, you could just come in and go, whoa, man, now he looks huge. Now he looks like an orc. Right? But if you do the opposite, now it looks like a baby. Ah, hey, Dad, go. Boy, oh, Dad, ah. So yeah. He could be, 20 normal heads high. So like the other thing too is you can bring in standard male and get them in here as well, right? Yeah, troll. I mean, he's short and squat, right? Chibi troll. Yeah. Field of view, I'm usually using about 28. I heard that number from somebody, and I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, do that. Somebody did some math or something, and they said, oh, 28's most like blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. Good. Got it. All right, 28. Good. That's the number. Whew. This bone is not looking right. Let's just redo this part real quick. Okay, so we got the triceps that come in like this. Triceps that come in like this. Okay, got bone. Back to the question I asked earlier. The sculpt I have is in pose, and it's limbs whose proportions I have. We did get away from that. It's a little bit weird when you've got something in in pose, and you're trying to get the proportions. It's a little bit weird. You kind of just have to guess. Try to use the same method where you're taking the head shape, but yeah, you kind of it's kind of weird when you've got it in pose. I just take my basic knowledge from proportions from the head stuff that we just talked about and try to apply it to the pose, and then just use your best judgment. It's really kind of like it's a little bit weird once you get into a pose. I don't really have a good solution for it other than just guess. That's so bad, but that's usually what I do. So usually from when I'm doing poses, I'll do something like this first to get my basic proportions down, and then I'll get into doing the pose. Again, I'm looking at silhouette proportions, so I'm really trying to get the right silhouettes happening. You're looking here, turn it, do I like that? It's okay. Like this, I think all of this needs to be thicker. Needs to have like the good reference for this dude for his hands is the Hulk. You look at the Hulk and how his big beefy hands are. Like they're big. They're huge. They're freaking huge. And that all starts from large wrists. Right? Again, just looking at the silhouette from every angle is really a great way of making sure your shapes are doing right. Kind of move this around. Okay, this has got to come down more. He's more beef to his arm. Baby ogre. Yep. Is there a plugin that lets you use transpose as a measuring tool? I'm not sure, Pro. You could lock the transpose tool on axis. It worked to be useful. Okay. Gorillas. Yeah, another. Actually, that's a really good one. Good call. Yeah, this isn't an anatomically correct. All right. Let's get his. Let's get his arm in better shape. This is really lumpy and gross. Okay, anatomy, anatomy, anatomy. Anatomy, anatomy, anatomy. Okay, what is the biceps doing? All right, the biceps are actually curling around and heading underneath there, right? And then what is the pecs are actually coming up underneath there as well. So this needs to go away. Alright, so this anatomy stuff is important. Rib cage needs to be a little bit wider down here. Okay. We're starting to get into some better proportions. The hips up here need to go in more. His legs are really far out compared to his body. So what I'm going to try to do is actually make his body a little bit wider to match his hips a little bit better. There we go, that feels better. Maybe this will come in more. Again, I'm looking at this profile, right? I feel like maybe not so sunken in there. Right, if you're going to have somebody who's so large, you know, gravity's going to be doing something different to things that are larger, right? So like even this guy is like huge. That's a lot of weight, you know? So even though if he's ripped, he'd probably have a lot more sag down here. Okay. Let's look at his deltoids again. Deltoids are off. Okie dokie. Let's actually bring that down a little bit. This actually, I feel like this all needs to come out. Sorry if I'm missing your guys' comments. Hold on one sec. Try to get this guy's proportions a little bit better. All this needs to come out. There we go, that's feeling a little better. Alright. What is best in life? Being able to sculpt and having time to do art. I think that's best in life. It's open to a lot of different interpretations, though. An anatomically correct troll. Can't say, Jose. Can't say anything about the game type at this point. Patience. Why isn't all that folks to study anatomy and make it work? Every time I get into it, my brain is too much info. I'd say Pixel Slayer. The best way to get around that is to just take it piece by piece. Do it. Work on arms for a while, you know, and then once you feel good about arms, work in the torso and chest. Right. Work on, you know, what are the biceps and deltoids doing? What is the forearm doing? Once you feel comfortable doing that, break into how do those work with, you know, the shoulders of the torso. You know, how does the deltoid work with the the pectoralis. You know, I would say just take it kind of piece by piece. That's how I try not to get overwhelmed by it. Let's work on this dude's hands for a couple minutes after I save it. Yeah. If you look into these dudes' hands, they're short and chubby, right? Raw. Yeah. The fingers aren't very long. The palms are huge. Palms are almost the same size. Look at that. So from the wrist to the first knuckle is almost the same size as from the elbow to the wrist. Yeah, so this guy has weird proportions. Hey, Ceratic. He's coming along. He's coming along. So I'm just gonna again just kind of make sure I rotate around and look at all the different angles. Looking at specifically the silhouette from as many angles as I can. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the palm and everything bigger, but I'm going to keep the fingers the same length. Here's the thing is I do 2D. Same thing with 2D. Yeah. What I would do is if you're studying anatomy in 2D, and I actually started in 2D. I've done whole courses in. Actually, you know what? That's where I learned most of my anatomy was in 2D. I drew everything. I drew every single form-defining muscle in the body and in the face, and I was able to draw and know all of the bones in the body and where all those muscles connected to what bones and what they were called. I mean, I had probably about 3 months of just hardcore learning everything, and that's all I did. It's stuck with me forever. That's why I can name almost every single form-defining muscle in the body and where it goes and where it connects. But my advice is if you're doing it in 2D, try to get it as much isometrical as possible to start. So yeah, so try to get things. If you're doing an arm, I wouldn't do an arm. I wouldn't draw an arm like this, right? If this is 2D, I wouldn't draw an arm like this. What I would do is I would draw it like this, right? Figure out what your silhouettes are doing. Where does all that come in? Yep. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so the tip of the tricep's actually going to come in here like this. Personally, I always have a problem with this area in my work. So I try to get that stuff in early, right? So the lat is going to come here like this. And then the scapula is going to be here like this. Deltoid. yeah, it's, you have to practice it and then you have to keep at it, like riding a bike or typing. If you learn how to type and then you never type, then you're not gonna remember how to do it, man. I may have to redo his back. It's getting kind of out of control. A little bit out of control. A little bit out of control. I think his arms need to be wider this way. Again, that's why I'm always looking at the silhouette from different angles. My elbow probably should come out a little bit more. And again, the forearm should match in proportions. Okay, needs more beef down here. Forearm's getting a little bit hectic too, so I probably should map out the muscle groups here pretty soon. So here's the elbow, the ulna radius. Radius is going to come down here and in to there. Yeah, if you do both together, it's just more practice. It's amazing. What's up, Holly? That skull poster is actually from the medical world. I used to work for a medical imaging company called Anatomage. And we did, there's this area of study in the dental field called Cephalo Metrics. And what that does basically is it measures the relationships of different landmarks in the skull to each other, basically. So, like, let's say, the back of your jaw, the length of the back of your jaw to the tip of your chin, um, and looking at the angle of the tip of the chin to where the teeth are, like by taking all these different angles and lengths and stuff and looking at them mathematically, you can put together growth patterns and areas of concern versus what normal growth patterns look like. So it actually helps with like treatment planning for the dental industry and for like facial reconstructive surgery. So basically it's a study. Cephalometrics is a study of landmarks in relation to each other through growth pattern. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun stuff. So what that poster is it's looking at all the different landmarks that a doctor will typically look at and use to measure. If you guys want to check out the here's the website. Sorry, I put it into Twitch. For those on YouTube and Facebook, you can go to www.anatomage.com. Anatomage, ANATOMAGE. So this is some really awesome stuff in here. Yeah, very specialized work. So we did this type of work. This is all from CAT scans. So we would look at different treatment planning softwares for like dental implants and that kind of stuff. Specifically, I actually worked on 3D analysis, which is what we were just talking about, where we would take different planes and different measurements of different locations of the body and actually run the mathematical analysis on them. And you can see, like, you know, outliers, you can see all kinds of different crazy stuff. So this actually helped my anatomy as well. So yeah, this was fun stuff. Anyways, you guys can check that out if you want to. There's lots more stuff in there. Yep. Gotta scoot. All right, James, take it easy, buddy. Thanks for dropping by, man. Always good to have you. All right, I'm gonna start playing with some of these proportions a little bit more, kind of like beefing this guy up a little. Now that I feel like I've got some good proportions, at least for his upper body going, now what I can do is start kind of pushing this. Maybe make it a lot wider. Bye, Felicia. His back will come out a little bit more. Got a little bit more of this hunch going on. Usually for these dudes too, like if you have somebody that's standing upright, this looks a lot different. But somebody who's, kind of crunched over a lot more, this area is going to look a lot different. But we got to think about it constructively, right? So you've got the trapezius that comes up through here. And think about the spine like moving forward, right? So we've got kind of like this big S curve. So like it comes in here and then comes way out like this and then comes back down. In. Couple more minutes, buddy, and then we'll get up, okay? Dad, I gotta go. Guys, I gotta go. Alright, so then looking at, you know what, let's just redo this. I feel like this area has really kind of gotten away from us. So, let's just scrap it. Alright, at least we have the general shape. Alright, and then now let's remark in our landmarks, right? So we've got the traps that come in here. We've got the scapula that's going to come in here. Right, the spine of the scapula comes in there. Yeah, man. That was a long time ago, though. That was a long time ago. Alright, so then we've got the delt that comes in here, right, connects to the scapula. Got all teres minor, teres minor. Traps are going to come up this way, and then the lats will come over this way. That's where you get your little triangle. Little triangle. That's going to come. This is going to come this way. Okay, it's going to connect over here. There we go. That's feeling a little better. Alright, sometimes you just gotta kill what's there. Alright. Spine. The trapezius muscles are so crazy, right? It does almost 180-degree in the rotation of the muscle fibers. Here, you're down here like this. As it comes up, you're almost lateral through here, and then it connects down to the spine of the scapula here, and then rotates all the way up, connecting to the spine all the way up through here. So it does like almost 180 degrees rotation in the muscle fibers. That's crazy! Sorry, I geek out about stupid stuff like that. Okay, we got lats that come down here. The rest of the lat actually comes through here, but it's more kind of like this fibrous, sinewy part. So like most of the bulk of the muscle ends right around there, but you still have this that comes through here. I know, Tilly. We'll be almost there in a minute, okay? Then you've got the obliques that come through here. Typically it's not too big through here, but then depending on how much he works out or what, obliques come through here like that. Right now we've got more of this like tube going on, which is good. Okay, then we'll give all this a quick smooth, and now we got some good landmarks there. Ashley, what's up? How are you? Welcome to Troll Anatomy 102. I know, can you hear her whining? She's like, Dad, come on, man, I really gotta go. Dad, I'm serious. It's a potty emergency. I know, Tilly. We'll be almost done, buddy. Almost done. Alright, so we're gonna do a little bit more here. Look who is late to the party. Fashionably late. Hey guys. Yeah, it's gonna go in through there. Okay. This still feels a little bit weird, but I think we'll get back to it. What I want to do is kind of get a little bit more of the hands into place. So typically what I'll do is I'll just inflate the crap out of these. Usually will get me fairly far in getting the joint proportions and everything back within the fun realm and out of torturous. So I'll go between the move tool and inflate. I think what I'm going to do is let's just hide everything else. Okay. I know, Tilly, we're almost there. Almost there, buddy. And what I may actually do too is just grab and if I need to, I can just move them as such. make a little bit more room. Especially for this guy down here. He's usually got a lot of... This guy's got a lot of problems usually. Living that cone life. Cones for life, man. Let's also... Let's actually do this. Make this a little bit bigger. Maybe rotate that out a little. And then we'll actually bring it up just a touch. Hands are always funky. Funky comedina. So you just have to, the trick with hands is you just got to be patient. Be patient and be diligent. And remember your anatomy when you're doing it. Or else things can get kind of out of hand. Thanks, SA. He's coming. He's coming along. He's coming along. Okay. Knuckles a little bit bigger. Knuckles a little bit bigger. We'll just kind of do this a little bit faster. So knuckles. Knuckles. Tips of the fingers. Okay, this all's got to come up. What's up, Noah? Yeah, we got a lot done today. We got a lot done today. Just in case you didn't hear me the first time, we got a lot done today. No, but seriously though, we did. Yeah, these are gonna. These will need a lot more love. Again, it's really helpful just to look at the silhouettes from the different angles. Alright, let's see how that's feeling. A little bit better. A little bit better. I won't spend too much time on the hands, but at least I want to get them within range. You know? You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? At least so they feel somewhat right. I never did play Infamous Second Son. I actually haven't played any of those games. I've always kind of wanted to, but never found the time, which is sad to say. I wanted to, but it never made my list, man. I have a pretty short list of the time that I can spend playing games. That one unfortunately didn't make it. I heard good things about it though. Yeah, we did this besides the head. Head we did last round. The body we did this all this round. I started with some base meshes though, so if you want to go back and check it, feel free, man. That's what the replays are for. His feet a little bit wider is going to help. Yeah, there we go. This all needs some work here. Ooh. There we go. All right, so anatomy for the leg. So we got the tibia that comes down here. We've got on the outside the fibula. Yes, this is God of War. Yeah, God of War fan art. The fibula ends lower on the outside than it does on the inside. The tibia actually is a little bit higher. I know, Tilly, we're almost done, bud. Thank you for being patient. We're almost done. Okay, we've got kind of the mass of the foot that comes here. Again, I'm looking at the silhouette. I'm just going to get that basic foot shape from the top. Typically something more like that. Feet are hard. I hate feet. God, I hate feet. Oh, God, I hate feet. Anybody else hate feet as much as I do? I'm not a foot person in any shape or form. I hate looking at them. I hate touching them. I hate sculpting them. Hate it. Let's flatten all this out a little bit. And let's just get foot brush. Yeah, I may just do that. I'm gonna see if, but here's the thing is I'm not good at feet, so I don't get a chance to do them very often. So I'm gonna force myself to try to make this one by hand. A foot by hand? I'm gonna do the foot by hand. So I don't get a chance to do feet very often. That's why I'm not really good at them. So I think I'm gonna take this opportunity to actually use this to practice. Right? So the more you practice, the better you get. Right? That's what they say. Make clothes straight in ZBrush or Marvelous. It really depends. If it's simple clothes, I'll just do them in ZBrush. If it's natural folds, other than something that's simple, then I'll do it in Marvelous. Yeah. So yeah, I'll take, if I have a little bit of extra time, especially if I'm doing streams like this, I'll try to do it actually by hand. Just because it's good practice for me. But if I don't have time and I just need to do it and I don't want to putz with it, then I'll just grab a mesh and just do it. Okay, we got the Achilles tendon that comes down here. This is usually straight. Nothing crazy here. Right, and this usually kind of V's out a little bit and heads into underneath the gastrocnemius. Also the gastrocnemius, it's kind of the lady I was sculpting. Which one? The sea witch? Yeah, what lady? Lady? What? I haven't done a lady in a while. Yeah, I haven't done a lady in a long time, actually. Oh my god, it's the wrong person. I'm sorry. No. Unless you're talking about that sea witch. So this. Oh, 8 cubed. Okay, gotcha. Lol. Okay, so this angle I get wrong a lot. So the length versus where this starts. Tilly, in. I know. We'll be done in a minute, buddy. I'll have to turn the fan on for a minute here. So, sorry if that's a little bit loud in your guys' ear. Tilly, in. Come on. I know. One more minute, man. One more minute. We're wrapping up right now. Forgot what I was saying. This maybe bends in just a little bit. I know. I'm gonna go take her out here in a second. I gotta wrap up. It's about time to wrap. Let's actually wrap now. Like the dog's gotta go out and you gotta get the family ready. We did some good stuff today though. I think we did some really good stuff today. Free the dog. Yep. I'm going to. Alright, so we blocked out pretty much the whole body today, which is awesome. And then we'll get into, we'll finish blocking out the body next round, and then I think we're going to get right into posing now that the proportions are done. And then we'll go from there. Alright, ladies and gents, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for all the awesome questions. Thanks for spending some time with the BIB. And we will see you guys soon. I'm glad all the tech stuff went well. Shout out to the Pixo team and Kyle for getting everything ready and doing the deed, making sure everything is good. Thanks to all you guys for hanging out. And so some of the other things. Stay tuned. There's a lot more awesome streamers, including Ashley A Cubed. Check her out if you don't know her already, which would be a sin because she's awesome. But yeah, check her out. She also is a streamer here on Pixelogic. She does awesome stuff. She does all kinds of fun creatures and stuff. So check her out. There's a Ashley, if you help me remember, there's a wheelchair competition going on right now. God, what was? Let me check that real quick. I was supposed to say something about that. Hold on. Don't go. Wait a minute. Where is it? Oh yeah, the Magic Wheelchair Comic-Con test. Yes. So, there's a Magic Wheelchair Comic-Con contest going on right now. So there's some people doing it over on, what is the website? On, ZBrush Central. There's some stuff going on there for it. Go check it out on ZBrush Central. And it's for a great cause. Yeah. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, it's for a great cause. So go check that one out. And if you need more informational stuff, teaching stuff, check out, God, my words are just dead this morning. ZBrush Central is really good. Yeah, stay tuned. There's lots of more awesome artists coming up, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. I'm actually streaming 3 times this month instead of my normal 2, so we'll be back soon. The next one will be on a Saturday. Alright, thank you guys. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned a couple things. But most of all, I hope you were inspired to go make your own cool stuff. So do it. Get out there, make some cool stuff. Get back to your community. Alright, see you guys soon. Later.